The Aksumight Empire, Part 2, The Golden Age. In today's video, we will delve into the Aksumite Empire and the onset of its Golden Age, beginning around 270 AD. This era was marked by the reign of 5 emperors: Ubis, Ailis, Wasa, Ousanas, and the final emperor Ezana, traditionally known as Abreha, meaning he who brought light. During this period, the Aksumite Empire began minting gold coins depicting these emperors, which have been discovered in India, Egypt, Meroe, and southern Arabia. The Aksumites established themselves as a dominant world power by leveraging their control over Red Sea trade routes to amass enormous wealth. This prosperity culminated in the construction of monumental steles in Aksum, some weighing over 100 tons. Beneath these structures lie royal tombs, where scholars speculate the emperors were buried. Section 1. The South Arabian Wars. Following the defeat of the Aksumite forces led by Baygat, the son of Emperor Gadarat, in 220 AD at the capital of the Himyarite kingdom, Zafar, the next significant mention of the Aksumites in Sabaean inscriptions occurs around 240 AD. This period marks the reign of Emperor Aziba and his son Garmat. During the reign of Emperor Aziba, the Aksumite Empire expanded its influence beyond its established territories in Arabia. Under Aziba's rule, the Aksumites extended their control to new regions in southern Arabia, including Asaran, Marafir, Sawuma, and Saharatan. Of these, only Sawuma's location is precisely known, situated approximately 130 kilometers northwest of Aden. These regions were at the very least dependent on Aksum, if not direct colonies. The Aksumites controlled these new lands in southern Arabia through strategic alliances and treaties. An alliance between Himyar and the Aksumites likely followed an earlier peace treaty, which stipulated that several areas be placed under Aksumite jurisdiction. Sabaean inscriptions mention Aksumite wars with Himyar during the reigns of Gadarat and his son Baygat. It is possible that another conflict occurred between the reigns of Emperor Baygat and Emperor Aziba, resulting in the acquisition of these territories. At around 240 AD, a significant conflict erupted between the Sabaeans and the Himyar-Aksum alliance, due to an accusation by the Sabaeans that the Himyarites had breached an existing peace treaty. At Himyar's request, the Aksumites aided them in the ensuing war. This alliance allowed Himyar to consolidate more power in southern Arabia. The events of this conflict are detailed in Sabaean inscriptions JA 575 and 576, providing the Sabaean perspective on the war. The inscriptions reveal that the Aksumites were defeated in the battles that followed. Notably, Garmat, the son of Emperor Aziba, played a direct role in leading the Aksumite forces against the Sabaeans. Inscriptions, particularly around line 26, also provide insights into the situation in Narjan. The inhabitants had broken their alliance with the Sabaeans and forged a new one with the Aksumites, who offered them protection from Saba in return. This shift in alliances led to a battle between the Aksumites and Sabaeans, in which the Sabaeans emerged victorious. Between approximately 240 and 260 AD, there is a notable silence in the historical record regarding the names of Aksumite emperors. However, one significant inscription is attributed to an Aksumite emperor named Semb. This inscription, written on a stone tablet found in Decemhere, present-day Eritrea, is dedicated to the 24th year of his rule and is dated to around the 3rd century AD. This time frame aligns with the period during which there is a lack of other inscriptions detailing Aksumite rulers.
The inscription is as follows: King of Kings of Aksum. Great Sembruths came and dedicated this inscription in the year 24 of Sembruths, the Great King.
The Aksumite Golden Age, Emperor Ubis. At around 270 AD, Emperor Ubis ascended to the throne, marking a period of significant prosperity and development for the Aksumite Empire. This era saw the introduction of Aksumite coins. Inspired by Roman coinage, these Aksumite coins featured Greek inscriptions on the outer edges reading Basileus Aksomiton, meaning King of the Aksumites. Another title, Bisi Daku, possibly referred to Ubis's village or tribe named Daku. The coins depicted a side portrait of the king wearing a headcloth. with the sun and moon symbol above, a symbol of the pagan religion at the time, and ears of wheat or barley on either side. The gold coins of Ubis weighed around 2.6 to 2.77 grams and were minted in gold, silver and bronze. The minting of coins hints at the centralization of the Aksumite political and economic structure during this period. Through these coins, the Aksumight Empire could project an image of strength and prosperity. Emperor Ailis. After the reign of Emperor Ubis, coins from around 290 AD mention Emperor Ailis. During Ailis' reign, the Himyarite kingdom, located to the east of the Aksumight Empire, conquered and annexed the Sabaeans. This expansion made the Himyarite kingdom the dominant power on the Arabian side of the Red Sea. Around 300 AD, the Kinidok-Pitai, a tribe along the northern Arabian coastline, rebelled against their Aksumite overlords and regained their independence with Roman support. These developments resulted in the loss of most, if not all, of Aksum's remaining tributary states in Arabia, significantly diminishing the empire's influence in the region. These turbulent events likely contributed to the brief reigns of Emperor Ailis and his successor Wazeba. Ailis, like his predecessor, minted gold, silver and bronze coins featuring a side portrait of himself in the centre, flanked by 2 ears of wheat or barley. The outer edge bore a Greek inscription reading Ailis King, while the reverse side read Bisi Dimile, with Dimile referring to his village or tribe. Notably, Ailis' coins introduced 2 unique features, a front-facing portrait and the depiction of the emperor wearing a crown, marking an evolution in Aksumite coinage. Emperor Wazeba. Ruling from around 310 AD, the next emperor depicted in Aksumite coinage is Wazeba. Information about Wazeba is limited due to the scarcity of his coins, likely a result of his short reign. Interestingly, Wazeba was the first Aksumite emperor to mint coins with Ge'ez inscriptions instead of Greek. This shift suggests an increased focus on domestic trade, which makes sense given the loss of territory in the Arabian Peninsula during his predecessor Ailis' reign. To recover revenue losses, it was essential to boost trade within their African territories. Some of Wazeba's coins depict both him and his successor Ousanas, suggesting that Ousanas might have acted as a regent during the latter part of Wazeba's reign. This dual depiction indicates possible political turmoil and further supports the notion of Wazeba's brief rule. The great stelli of Emperor Ailis and Wazeba. In Aksum there is a subterranean royal burial ground, directly above which stand multiple Stelae, 3 of which are of immense size. Among these, Stelae 3 stands 20.6 meters tall and weighs approximately 160 tons. This stele, representing a 10-story building, possibly symbolized a structure for the emperor in the afterlife. Unlike the other 2 large stelae, Stelae 3 has never collapsed at any point. None of the 3 major stelae bear any Christian inscriptions, indicating they likely commemorate different pre-Christian Aksumite emperors. Scholar D.W. Philipson theorizes that Stela 3 was erected during the reign of Emperor Ailis or Wazeba. The construction of these monumental stelae represented an increase in Aksumite wealth and technological power, as building these structures would have required the combined assistance and coordination of a large group of people, in addition to skilled architects and stonemasons. Emperor Ousanas and the arrival of Christianity. Around 320 AD, Emperor Ousanas, known indigenously as El Aramida, ruled after Wazeba. Scholars believe that during Ousanas' reign, 2 Tyrian boys from Tyre, located in southern Lebanon and controlled by the Eastern Roman Empire at the time, were captured and brought to the emperor's court. The younger boy, Aedesius, became the cupbearer, while the older boy, Frumentius, became a tutor to the emperor's son. There are conflicting accounts of how these 2 boys ended up at the emperor's court. One major account comes from Rufinus, a Roman historian who is said to have translated the story directly from Aedesius. Another account is found in the Synaxarium of the Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church, which details the lives of saints in the Ethiopian Orthodox Church and also mentions Frumentius and Aedesius. Arrival of Christianity from the perspective of Rufinus, the journey of Metrodorus and his students to the Aksumight Empire. Rufinus recounts the story of Metrodorus, a philosopher from Tyre who embarked on a journey to the Aksumight Empire. Metrodorus' expedition was driven by exploration, curiosity and philosophical inquiries, similar to the pursuits of his ancient predecessors. Accompanying him were two young boys under his tutelage, Aedesius and Frumentius. Aedesius was the younger of the two, while Frumentius was the older brother. Their journey took them across the Red Sea, eventually reaching Aksumite territory. Upon docking at a port within Aksumite territory, Rufinus notes an intriguing aspect of the geopolitical landscape of the time. He mentions that barbarian tribes were permitted to raid Roman ships, loot, and kill Romans aboard if a neighbouring tribe had broken its treaty with the Romans. This neighbouring tribe likely referred to the Aksumites, who controlled extensive territories on the African side of the Red Sea. The Aksumites exerted direct control over the coastline through various ports, the largest being Gabasa at Adulis, as documented in the Periplus of the Erythraean Sea. Despite their control, it was impractical for the Aksumites to monitor the entire coastline continuously, and peripheral tribes inhabited significant portions of it. Additionally, it is crucial to understand that the Aksumites had lost their territory on the Arabian coastline around 290, 300 AD during the reigns of Ousanas' predecessors Wasa and Ailis. This loss was due to Roman support of the rebellions in the North Arabian tribes, leading to political consequences and the cessation of trade treaties between the Romans and the Aksumites. The attack and capture. While the boys were studying under a tree, indicating that their ship was docked, possibly for resupply or rest, barbarians seized the opportunity to attack. The barbarians killed and looted the ship's crew, including Metrodorus. However, they spared the two boys, possibly seeing their potential value. The boys were taken to the Aksumight Emperor, and the barbarians likely received a reward once the boys' value was revealed. Aedesius, due to his younger age, was assigned the ceremonial role of a cupbearer. Frumentius, being older and more knowledgeable, was given the role of treasurer and secretary. This role was likely bestowed after he'd spent some years acclimatizing to the land, culture and language, and proving his loyalty to the emperor. Frumentius's knowledge and skills impressed the emperor, securing his high position. Upon the death of Emperor Ousanas, his son Ezana ascended to the throne. During this transitional period, the queen sought to retain loyal advisors to support the young king. Frumentius and Aedesius, having established a special connection with the royal family, were seen as trustworthy, and thus the queen promised they could leave once the young princes had grown up. The queen played a significant role in royal duties, supported by court officials, while King Ezana was still young, acting as a regent until Ezana and his twin brother Ezana grew older. Rufinus notes that Frumentius helped ease tensions with the Romans, allowing Roman merchants to build places of worship and practice Christianity throughout the Aksumight Empire. When Ezana reached adulthood, the regency ended. Fulfilling the queen's promise to the brothers, Aedesius returned to Tyre to reunite with his parents, while Frumentius travelled to Alexandria to seek ordination from the patriarch Athanasius. Frumentius was consecrated as a bishop and returned to the Aksumite Empire to continue his work. During the reign of Emperor Ousanas, the Aksumight Empire declared war on the kingdom of Kush. The kingdom of Kush had been a dominant power in the region for over a millennia, but by the 3rd century AD, its influence was waning due to various political and socio-economic issues. These internal problems weakened the Kushites, making them more vulnerable to external threats. On the other hand, the Aksumites were actively seeking to expand their influence within Africa after losing territory in the Arabian Peninsula. This combination of Kushite decline and Aksumite ambition created a context ripe for conflict between the two powers. An inscription found in Meroe, the capital of the Kingdom of Kush, details the conquests of a king of the Aksumites and Homerites. Scholars believe this inscription was left after the conquest by Emperor Ousanas. Initially, some scholars attributed the downfall of the Meroitic Empire to Emperor Ezana, Ousanas' son. However, further analysis has led most scholars to conclude that it was indeed Ousanas who conducted the war against Kush. Notably, when Emperor Ezana later conducted his own invasion to crush a rebellion in Kushite territory, he did not mention any Meroitic kings. This absence suggests that by the time of Ezana's campaign, the Meroitic kings no longer existed, indicating that the territory had already been conquered during Ousanas' reign. The lack of mention of Meroitic rulers in Ezana's records supports the conclusion that Ousanas was the one who brought down the Meroitic Empire. The onset of the Aksumite Golden Age ushered in a period of remarkable progress and cultural flourishing. Key developments during this era included the minting of coins, the standardization of the Ge'ez script, the construction of monumental stelli, the advent of Christianity, and the successful invasion of the ancient Kushite Empire. These milestones culminated in the reign of Emperor Ezana, one of Aksum's most celebrated rulers. Despite facing numerous rebellions throughout his empire, Ezana left a lasting legacy by erecting inscriptions that chronicled his victories and constructing numerous tombs. Significantly, during Ezana's reign, the Aksumight Empire officially adopted Christianity, marking the beginning of over 1600 years of Christian history in the region. This religious transformation profoundly influenced the nation's cultural and historical trajectory. In the next video, we will explore the rebellions during Emperor Ousanas' reign, delve into the contributions of the 9 saints, and much more. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this piece.
There are 4 great kingdoms on earth. The first is the kingdom of Babylon and Persia. The second is the kingdom of Rome. The third is the kingdom of the Aksumites. The fourth is the kingdom of the Chinese.